Something that everyone should know about trauma is that we all have it and that it's a spectrum. There's severe trauma and there's mild trauma and there's everything in between. Life is a series of experiences that negatively and positively impact us.
Welcome to Spiritual Boot Camp Planet Earth. We're all going through something, and very rarely do any of us get out without any kind of trauma at all.
To me, being trauma-informed means having an understanding that everybody's lived experience is a little bit different. Everybody responds to something different. It helps me understand and help me share that intention and impact are not the same. And what matters most is the impact versus whatever you intended.
As a nurse at that time, I realized every patient that came in front of me had some form of trauma and needed somebody to talk with them, listen to them.
Being trauma-informed really means understanding the impact of trauma, understanding that the entire history that that each of us individually walking around with have in our past, not just trauma, but anything, all of our experiences culminate into who we are today. And being trauma-informed recognizes that those experiences impact our behaviors today. It's also really about shifting the perspective from why did you do that to tell me about what happened. In the work that we do, we care for survivors of sexual assault, and a big piece of focus is, we never use language like tell me about the alleged sexual assault. We use language more like tell me about the assault that you reported.
Even if I've never had any traumatic experiences, take a look around. Everyone's been impacted by it, and it takes some intentional looking sometimes to realize how it's shown up. Provide people with a little bit of grace, a little bit of consideration in how someone might show up in a situation.
Learning about trauma has really made me learn to be a more patient person with other people, to be more empathetic and understand that everyone is going through their own personal struggles.
Learning more about the trauma-informed care has changed my life, not only with the patients that I care for, but learning how to talk with other staff members, learning how to take care of my own children.
Learning about trauma has shaped my life most profoundly as a mother, and thinking really intentionally about the way that I parent her. It's really a whole self approach from not just what we're doing in our professions and how we're interacting with our community members, but also how we're interacting with our colleagues and then our family members at home, because we often forget to apply those same thoughts to those that we spend the most time with.
It really helps to put behaviors into perspective. It helps me to recognize in myself what's coming up and how that might impact how I'm interacting with others. For example, I'm a parent. It's a very anxious thing to be a parent in this country to Black children. I'm able to create an environment for my children where I'm like, I didn't have that. And so I'm navigating my inner child, who's absolutely a teenager, where my sons might do something and I'll respond differently. And internally, it's like, well, wait a minute. Now that's just, how do you allow that? But it's helped me really to recognize and take intentional effort to shift my behaviors.